Hi everyone, my name is Courtney and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be discussing my favorite books of the year so far. I feel like this year has been a little rocky, definitely falling in and out of like reading moods, and just been kind of reading a lot of stuff just like middle of the road. There were a couple high points where I read some really good stuff, and so that's what I'm going to talk about today is my favorite books of the year so far. The first book I have for you was like a 4-star, but like it lives on in my brain and I had such a good time reading it. It got me out of one of my little slump divots, and that is going to be Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. This book just did everything that I like in this type of thing perfectly. It's Regency fantasy, slightly cozy. It's like on the edge of cozy fantasy, but it's like a romantasy, Regency era, just very wholesome story about a young woman coming into her powers and falling in love at the same time. And if like you're really into Ella Enchanted, House Moving Castle, like this is the same kind of structural story. When it's done really well, that's what I love, and this did that. It wasn't like a perfect novel for me. There were things I would have tweaked, but overall I just enjoyed this so much. It was definitely giving me that like kicking my feet in the air kind of feeling. And again, that girl coming into her own power story was structured so perfectly. Next book I have is Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake, and this is an adult romance novel. And I would say like the main character is Delilah, as she is being forced to come to her hometown where she has a lot of trauma from a fraught childhood, and she is coming into town to be the photographer on her stepsister's wedding, and she doesn't get along with her stepsister or her stepmom, and she just has really bad memories of the place, but she really needs this job. So there's a lot of turmoil, a lot of angst. The girl she is falling in love with is Claire, who is one of her stepsister's best friends. So initially Delilah sees her slightly as like a past bully, but Claire runs a bookstore and she has stayed in town because she got pregnant at 19, and so she's raising her like tween-ish daughter. And like this novel was perfect. It's everything that I look in a romance. It's messy, there's a lot going on in the characters' backstory lives, and it's also like sweet and spicy. Like it was the perfect blend of everything that I really like. Sorry, I'm playing with lighting to make it look better. Yes, this is like the perfect romance for me. It's exactly what I was looking for, and it's queer, of course. That's why I loved it. But again, super cute, super fun, got me invested in the rest of the characters, and I'm ready to read the rest of the series. And then the next novel I have is a nonfiction, which is going to be Braiding Sweet Crass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. And this is partly a little bit of a memoir imparting indigenous knowledge, and part like biology and botany lesson, and I just love the blend of those different genres. It really kept me engaged in the story, learning more about Robin Wall Kimmerer's life as well as like indigenous plants and the science. Like it was just the perfect blend of a lot of my niche interests, I guess, while also just like being really interesting and really personal. Really great read. Highly recommend anybody to read it. Even if you're not like a big nonfiction person, this is really good. The next book I have is Light from Uncommon Stars by Rika Aoki, and this is a queer sci-fi fantasy blended novel, but it is mostly about the intersection of a violin instructor who has made a deal with the devil to give the devil 7 souls to go to hell, interacting and intersecting again with a alien who is escaping her planet and kind of has an outward face in the community as a donut shop owner. A lot of really interesting intersecting things in this novel. It's just a really fun adventure while also being very like intimate with the characters. For me, this was like the perfect blend of a lot of things to keep me interested, to keep me entertained, while also just really connect and feel for these characters. I really love this. Beautifully written, beautifully read on audiobook. Highly recommend this one. And then the last book I have on this list is Witch Hat Altair, which is a seinen manga or a adult manga. There were 2 new manga series that I picked up at this year, and I could have included the other one on this list, but this one just, it wholly captured my attention. I was immediately sucked in, immediately knew I had to buy this series. It's so whimsical and magical while also being so incredibly heartbreaking and like deep, but what I mean is like there's so many layers going on in this story. It's so complicated and complex, the kind of emotional issues people are dealing with, the bigger problems people are dealing with, but mainly this centers around our main character Coco, who is a young 11-12-year-old girl who has always wanted to be a witch, but that witches are born, not made. Or that's what she thinks until she accidentally, sort of on purpose, discovers how witches' powers come about. From there, because of some trouble that she gets into, she is sucked into the world of witches and she needs to find a way to save her mom. But in this world of witches, there is a lot of caveats, a lot of rules, and so the problem of saving her mom becomes more and more difficult as time goes on. This series is so good. It's beautifully illustrated. It just has so much atmosphere, so much whimsy, so many great characters, but it's also just like a really good story. This is a manga series that I am going to be thinking about for a really long time and going to be collecting and reading. I'm just so excited and in love with this series. But yeah, those are my top 5 reads of the year so far. I think honestly most of these, the way the year is heading, the way the year is going, most of these could end up on my favorites of the year list. Don't they look great together? Wow, what color scheming I have. But yeah, these are the best of the best in terms of what I'm reading this year. Let me know what your favorite books of the year are so far. I would love to know. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys later and happy reading.